Rick Mauch for our normal weekly segment in the news with the Burlington Record. May the 4th be with you.
Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Perfect day. We're doing it a day early this week because Rick he's on assignment. He's on assignment up at a golf course tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. I have to go to Lyman tomorrow for our Explorer magazine that's coming out later this month. I'm doing an article on the best and most unique golf courses in the Northeast Plains. And Lyman's story is, I believe it's the oldest 9-hole course in the state, if I remember my notes correctly. But yeah.
That'll be fun. First time playing it. I haven't played it.
First time playing it. I've said before, as much as I love Colorado, and I do love Colorado, that's why we moved here. I love the snow, love getting up to the mountains occasionally. I love the calmness and peace here on the plains. I miss golf.
Well,
I miss playing golf every single week like I could in Texas. Now it's, I'm literally sitting there watching the calendar, and my wife's going, it'll get here. And then we get another late snow, and I'm like, come on.
But you know what? It's now you're doing it for work. It's like a double whammy. That's great.
I got out 3 times last week.
Where'd you play last week?
Last week I played Goodland, the only 18-hole course between, I think, Hayes and Denver. And it's a super nice course. Then I went to Brush.
How was that?
Brush is immaculate. It's really, really nice.
Is that 18 or 9?
No, it's 9. It's 9. And they bill themselves as the best 9-hole course on the Northeast Plains. And, Holyoke will give them a run for the money. They're about even, and it's a 9-hole course also. Beautiful. Both those courses just immaculately kept. And of course, Burlington is also going to be in there. Burlington, I love the greens on Prairie Pines. I don't know that I've ever seen more beautiful greens.
Yeah,
and
they do a good job.
Tee boxes. I would put the greens on Burlington's course against pretty much anywhere I've ever played. I mean, they really do a magnificent job of keeping their greens. Now, if I could just figure out how to putt on them, but
they do have varying speeds. So.
They do, but it's a nice course, and it'll be included. It'll be included in the list. Obviously, I can't play every single course in the Plains, but I'm hitting the ones that have a little story behind them, and that are just good courses.
Where's Lyman's?
What do you mean?
The course. I mean, I've been through it so many times. I've just never seen it. So is it
I don't know actually.
Next week we'll find out. When you come back, because I honestly don't know where it was.
But I'm going to play tomorrow. There's a slight chance of rain, but that's okay. I mean, as long as it's just like 10%, I'll play.
Yeah,
that.
You can play through it.
I have played I played once in 35-degree temperatures. Actually, had one of the best rounds of my life. I would not do it again because it was miserable. But Buddy and I did play a par 3 course in Texas in 35-degree temperatures. I want to say I shot like a 4 over par for 9 holes. That's all we could get. It was just frigid cold. And I've also played in 109-degree temperatures with a heat index of 117. And we had no idea. We went out and we played. We walked because, again, it was a par 3 course. We got into the clubhouse and just sweating as much as is in this water bottle. I mean, it was just, we were drenched. And I remember the guy running the clubhouse said, "Who let y'all go play?" And I said, "I don't know, whoever was here a while ago." He said, "Well, they weren't supposed to let anybody out on the course. It's a heat index of 117.
Ooh.
And I looked at my buddy Mark and I said, "That explains a lot."
There you
but
go.
again, I had a pretty good round. So in extreme conditions, I play some of my best golf. So,
well, we'll have to see it on tomorrow. We'll find out next week.
So I figure when my final day arrives, I'll either be passed out on the 18th green and it'll be 5 below zero, or I'll be, having passed to the beyond on the 18th green, and it'll be 120. So
See how it goes.
yeah. So I figure, I figure my final day will be spent in the ultimate extreme conditions on a golf course. And people won't find me until 2 days later, because anybody with any sense is going to go, hell, I ain't going to go look for him. It's 20 degrees out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm excited next week to hear how Lyman goes, and then to hear how they all are at the end.
It's a fun assignment. As you know, I do love golf, and I've got some catching up to do, because you obviously you can't play every week up here like in Texas, but we're into spring, and I can get out there, and you and I are going to hit Prairie Pines, and heck, man, we might even do a road trip up to, if the Lyman course is good, we can take a road trip up there. We can go to Goodland.
I'd like to play Goodland. So
Goodland's a good course. It is. It's an interesting course, challenging. It's not that long of a 18-hole course, but you got to hit it straight. Same with brush. Brush is very deceptive, which kind of, as a matter of fact, the course we have here is a little bit deceptive. You look at it and you think, the hole's not that long. Maybe not, but if you can't hit it straight, that easy little par 4 will easily become a 6 if you can't hit it straight. So, and I'm proud to say the strength of my game is I do hit it straight most of the time. Now, I've had a little trouble the other day, but most of the time I'm pretty good at hitting it straight. I'm just not a long hitter. So if I'm hitting it straight in the middle of the fairway, and you may hit it 20 yards past me, but you're off in the rough, we're about even. Now, if you can hit it long and straight, you're going to beat me every time.
Huh. Well, you don't have to worry about that with me. So you're safe.
So yeah, I'm excited about that now, and I'll give you a report on the Lyman course. Nice people in Lyman, by the way. Did I tell you that I think they want to do an interview with me when I go there, and I think they're excited about the fact that I'm going to write something about their town. So I think they want to write something about me writing something about their town.
That's cool.
That is kind of cool. Yeah.
It's like Inception. Right?
Yeah.
Some people will get that reference.
No, I got it. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So, but I'm excited. And Lyman's a good town. Man, we got lots of news. Lots of news.
Breaking news.
We do. We were talking. Let's talk about our website for just a second, because as you know, we push that, and these are the kind of stories that are getting us noticed. You and I talked about the story a while ago of the mummified remains of the cult leader, and you've actually been in that area.
Yeah, I was up there last summer hiking.
The cult
is
Love Has Won. Yeah, it's up in. Maybe cult is not the right word. It is an extreme religious organization. Let's say that.
Okay.
And I don't say that as an insult to any religious organization. I'm very religious myself. But as we all know, when I say extreme religion, I mean, that's an area that a lot of people don't go into.
Yeah, it could be a cult. I mean, if they're wheeling a mummy around that they brought back from California,
I've never
in a house, I mean, that's cult, right?
I've never wanted to mummify my pastor.
No, it's a really crazy, weird story, but yeah, I don't think you have a problem calling it a cult. I think the authorities did.
Yeah, so, I think when you want to mummify your pastor, that kind of qualifies you as a cult.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll go there.
We're safe there.
But and also I think when your pastor calls herself Mother God.
Yeah, that's a sign as well.
That's kind of crossing a line that.
Seen some red flags here.
But yeah,
that was an interesting story. I saw it this morning at about 6.
It was.
Like, wow.
And when I came across that, I said, "Oh, I got to put this on the internet."
Well, I'm glad you did.
So, and then story about bears attacking.
Bear
attacking
Durango.
and partly eating a lady.
Yeah, that was too bad.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I've never had to deal with bears because, in Texas, we have rattlesnakes, we have scorpions, we have a ton of things that can kill you, but we
Right.
don't have bears.
Yeah. Well, and it was a black
So-
bear, and that's like I was saying before this. It's unusual. I think they said that she came up on the cubs, so they can read more about that, and it's tragic. It's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh.
She was by herself. No, and you know what? I'm sorry. What makes it even weird is she was walking her dogs. And so she had 2 dogs with her, which is very bizarre that the dogs were involved in that. And then the boyfriend came back to the house later that night,
Wow.
saw the 2 dogs there were off the
Yeah.
leash and started looking for her. And then that's where he found it and called the
Yeah.
sheriff, the whole thing's unusual. It's just rare to have that happen. So,
Well, I mean, wild animals, you walk upon their, you walk upon their young.
yeah, but
I
that
mean,
usually with the dogs, right? That wouldn't happen. Usually that's what's so weird is because those bears and the dogs, they know.
Yeah,
they can sense each other.
that
It's
is
just a
pretty
very weird story. And usually if you're making noise, like if you're hiking a 14 in the middle of nowhere, you're going to be making sound or talking to your friend, or some people carry cowbells if they're by themselves to create that noise because it warns the wildlife.
Yeah,
Tragic.
That's tragic.
Were those the breaking news?
Colorado man wanted for 131 sexual assaults. He got arrested in Ecuador.
He was in Colorado, and that just hit the news today, huh?
Yeah,
Wow,
that's breaking
terrible.
news on our site right now. 131 sexual assaults. I mean, that's
Wow.
just
I hadn't seen that article yet. That's sad.
wow.
I'm glad they caught him, but that's crazy.
And then our poll this week is, and you actually gave me this question:
Oh, you put it on.
do you think Burlington should have a dispensary?
Wow. How many people? So yeah, we talked about it last week that we were going to have it, and that's
I don't know. It actually
I'll have to go on
It
and-
actually just went up today, so
interesting.
It's early.
Oh, we'll have to put that in the notes.
But I'm
we'll put that in
curious-
the comments and share that. I am curious too, because at City Council, I guess that was last week, time flies, there was a presentation
yeah,
from a couple of local gentlemen who wanted to start the discussion about a dispensary.
mm-hmm.
More to come on that, obviously, and I'm sure you guys will do a write-up in the paper at some point.
we will when the time is right. Right now, it's just a discussion thing, and
I
you know,
agree.
but at some point, yes, it will go somewhere because you can have people either come out for it, you can have people come out against it.
Public hearings,
you know,
obviously. So,
I would think the gentleman who made the presentation probably has more coming. You know, I mean, I don't know. Doesn't bother me if Burlington gets a dispensary.
I'd be interested to see all the data behind it, other communities, what the public wants.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to have just this I don't think we're going to have reefer madness around here. I think, as we said now, I think the people who do it are driving to get it. So it kind of reminds me of when I lived in East Texas. Tyler, Texas, did not sell alcohol. People who wanted it drove down the road and got it. In that case, it was about 20, 25 miles. Here it is an hour or two. I think there's a dispensary somewhere up around Julesburg or Sedgwick or somewhere, someone told me, which is what, an hour and a half away, or you can go to Denver or what have you. And my point is, people who want it, they're going to travel and get it.
Right.
And if you don't want it, don't buy it. I mean, it's that simple. I don't think you're going to see a rush of people just, I got to go get high because it's available.
No, but I think what you have to take into account is the community, how they feel about it.
And I respect that.
And what's the impact? And it's an open discussion, and people talk about the pros, the cons. You examine other similar communities, I should say.
And I think
what has the impact been on those? You talk to law enforcement, you talk to everyone, and just get a take on what it is.
And I think you have to respect that. I mean, I think, you know, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
I also think you have to be realistic of where you live and what the policies are right now, and you look at the tax revenue it might bring in. So there's a lot of
there is a tax
there's a
benefit.
lot of things to think about.
Yes.
So
you do have to be respectful of your community. You know, I would hope that people wouldn't be just walking around downtown puffing away, you know, what have you.
Right.
It would be like, I guess it would be like public consumption of alcohol. You know, if you
Yeah,
see
of
somebody
course.
out in public drinking a beer, you're probably going to give them a ticket.
Yeah, but I mean, there's even bigger issues around that as far
and
as
definitely don't drive and do it.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And they talked about that. But there's city, then you've got the county. That's a whole different level of what's legal there. Where are they going to grow? So there's a lot of things
Yeah,
that have to be, where's the store going to be? How is that going to impact people around there?
And all of that is beyond my knowledge because I'm not an expert in this field. I'm not an expert in the field of alcohol.
Right.
But I mean, if people who do know what they're doing do it right, and I'm just speaking for myself personally, it's not going to bother me. If it bothers you, I respect that. And I don't mean you, I just mean anyone in general. If it bothers you, I respect that.
I think
but personally, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah, and for me, my thought on it is I want to have a public hearing.
Yes.
I want to learn more. That's where I'm at before I come into it with a preconceived notion and try and I might have personal beliefs of whether I think it's a good idea or not, but I want to hear what the community thinks and I just want to study it.
And don't force it one way or the other.
I agree.
If you have a public hearing and 70% of the people don't want it, don't have it. If you have a public hearing and 70% of the people do want it, go with it.
That's why you have the public hearing.
But yeah,
right?
you have to respect your community. It may not be your personal decision. You may think, why or why not? But the fact of the matter is, it's community.
Right.
And if 60, 70, 80% of the people either want it or don't want it, that's what you got to go with. Mm-hmm. And pretty much anything, really.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
And that's where we got to come into it.
Because if you try to force it, then you will have problems.
I agree.
And if they want it and you try to force it not to happen, you're also going to have problems.
Yeah.
So just, find out what the community wants, find out what the community will tolerate, and then go with it. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, hey.
We'll see.
It's a nice drive up to Denver.
No, but I mean,
know, my daughter lives there.
And you know what the thing is? It's in the news. And so I'm glad that we're talking about it, and I'm glad that you put the poll up because it's the first step. It's a reality. It was brought up. It's not going to go away.
No, it'll give us a reality check. Yeah.
So I think it's going to happen as far as that discussion. So I think
there's actually a talk to make it legal nationwide. So if that happens, I mean, then it's.
I think that's coming for sure.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious to see where that poll leads us.
Let's take a quick break here.
That's what's happening with the website. We'll come back and talk about the actual paper in a minute.
Okay, we had to take a quick little break, but we're back.
I like conversations like that. I think we have a smart community. I'm gonna put that out there. We have a smart community, I think, and like in a community, you're gonna have people who dig in and what have you, and that's fine. I mean, to each their own. But we have a smart community, and I think polls like the one we just talked about, I think polls like the one we just had with the Derek Chauvin, do you agree with it? Which, by the way, I think something like 76, 77%, somewhere in there, agreed with the verdict. We try to offer questions that will make people think. Every once in a while, we'll have like a Bigfoot question or something, but and they are thinking, and that's good because that sparks conversation like what we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer. You don't have to agree with what I say. I just appreciate you listening to me.
Yeah. No, open discussion.
Yeah,
discourse.
Exactly.
Civil. Yeah, very much.
Newspaper itself. We have a big newspaper coming out this week. We have, I think, Courtney told me it's like 44 pages.
Oof.
Yeah, it's huge paper. We have had bigger, but typically that is connected to Fair Week or what have you. But we have a lot of stuff going on this week. The photo feature is, by the way, the Burlington High School prom. It's a really nice page. Courtney has really started doing an amazing job now that Joyce has left. She's just kept that rolling, and the photo feature page just looks great week after week. And Joyce taught her well, and Courtney is now running on her own with that and just doing an amazing job. Now, our main stories, I don't have a front page to show you because we're doing this on Tuesday afternoon. We'll get back to next week when I will be able to show you the front page. But main stories we're looking at this week, I mentioned we had a couple of breaking stories. We did have them on our website. I guess it still qualifies as breaking going in the paper. It's breaking for the paper product anyway. Burlington High School is among a group of about 50 rural school districts across the state that they're talking to CHASA about possibly leaving and forming their own organization.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I talked to Jake Traherne and the Burlington athletic director, and they haven't, dug in and said, hey, do this or we're going to do this. But it is in the talks. I know some other school districts around the state that are similar to Burlington in size have also started the talks. And basically what they're telling CHASA is, we want to be at the table. We don't want everything to be catered to the Denver schools, the Colorado Springs schools, the Boulder schools. We want to be at the table. And a lot of them just don't feel that representation right now. Now, it's up to CHASA to, and we had a similar situation like this in Texas. It wasn't taken to the point where some schools were thinking of breaking off and forming their own organization. Right. But there was a time in Texas when the UIL, the University Interscholastic League, it's called there, there were many times where little schools would say, hey, we count also. So I understand where Burlington's coming from, and I understand where the other school districts, and this isn't a complaint against CHASA. I mean, CHASA has a lot of schools to deal with, and let's be honest, I mean, if you've got 10 schools up in Denver shouting opposite little old Burlington, you can get drowned out. But you put 50 little old Burlingtons together, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say little old Burlington. I actually like the fact that Burlington is little. You put 50 of us together, and all of a sudden you got a voice, and that's what that story is about. They're a long way from it actually happening, and I don't think they want it to happen. I think they just want to be heard. Now, I may be wrong there, but I just get the impression that they just want to be heard. But there's a possibility that Burlington and other schools around the state like them, now to make it work, Jake made a good point. You don't want to leave and have 6 schools form their own organization, because then your state championship really wouldn't mean anything. So we'll see where that goes, but it is something that is being discussed. Speaking of Jake Traherne, he is stepping down as the Burlington boys basketball coach.
Yep, I heard that.
Yeah, after 10 years, a very successful 10 years. I think he has 112 wins, led them to state a handful of years ago. Not COVID.
I actually read that. I read that again on yours this morning.
Yeah.
You guys are putting some good stuff out there.
He is going to remain as athletic director, and that's good. He wants to spend more time with family. I understand that. But he had a very successful 10 years as coach of the Cougars. State tournament appearance, several Sweet 16 appearances, I think a regional finals appearance tossed in there. 3 league championships, I believe it is, a couple of district tournament championships. So, I mean, his resume is really, really good.
It's outstanding.
He's not leaving because people want him to leave. He just wants to spend more time with his family. And he is going to stay on as athletic director, which I think is extremely important to the district. Also, the softball coach, Michaela Koster.
She is too. I saw that.
Yeah, and I'm a little puzzled by that because, and I haven't been able to get in touch with her to find out more details, but she took a team that I think won 9 games, and she struggled her first year. But this year, they were really among the best around. They reached as high as number 6 in the state. They tied Lyman for the league championship.
She did an
a
awesome
lot of
job.
talent coming back.
They both did a great job.
Yeah, I don't know what her reason is for leaving. I don't know if she's going to stay in the coaching profession or what, but she's going to be missed. She did a great job?
Yeah, she did. She is, and she's great with the kids too because she helps out with t-ball. She does an amazing job. I was reading that this morning, and I was wondering when I read that, was there an update on who's taking that over?
No, we don't know yet. Haven't heard. I imagine they're going to conduct they're probably going to conduct a pretty lengthy search. Don't think they'll have any trouble getting someone to take those positions. Burlington has a really fine athletic program, and I don't think they're going to have any trouble finding the right person. But I would guess they probably will have a lot of candidates. Speaking of successful sports programs, we would be very remiss if we didn't first congratulate and then wish the best of luck to the Stratton Liberty Lady Knighted Eagles, who are headed to Colorado Springs for the state volleyball tournament.
So they won the tournament?
They did win the regional championship.
Awesome.
They're 15-1 now. The one team that beat them, Briggsdale, is also going to be at state. Stratton Liberty will play Simla, which is the only undefeated team in the field. Stratton Liberty's the number 5 seed. Simla's number 4. Simla's 16-0.
Simla's small. Have you been to Simla yet?
I haven't, no.
It's on the way to the Springs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I probably have then. I just didn't remember. But, you got a 16-0 Simla, 15-1 Stratton Liberty. Both of those teams have a decent shot at winning the state championship. So that's huge. And it's the first state tournament berth since Stratton and Liberty started co-opting. So
that's cool. And that's great. I can't wait to hear it. It'll be cool to see how they do.
They're really good. They play at 11 o'clock on May 12th, and then if they win, they'll come back the next day in the semifinals.
Awesome.
High Plains teacher Chris Barnhart received a classroom grant from the Professional Association of Colorado Educators. He's going to use it to buy a graphics drawing tablet. So,
neat.
That's pretty cool. You love to see teachers who go above and beyond like
that.
You really do. County-wide tornado sirens are happening again next Tuesday. Burlington will be 10 o'clock, and then it's staggered, from including Bethune, Stratton, Vanna, Siebert, and Flagler.
It's good. Timely. We need it. There was a tornado I saw. I think it was on your guys' site that was north of Burlington last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, we still have COVID news. The state has found 210 new K through 12 outbreaks. Canyon City, in fact, closed its schools this week because they had a spike. So it's still out there. I know we're being cautious and what have you, but let's not forget this is a deadly virus, and we can't turn our back on that. I'm very, very pleased with what people are doing around the state, and I do feel safer venturing out. But nonetheless, it's out there, and there's a new strain. So let's just be careful because this can still happen.
How are our numbers?
I think we're pretty good, actually. We haven't gotten Dawn's report yet. That'll be, of course, on the front page. But the numbers have been pretty steady in level green, and we've really been pretty safe. Again, like I said, I haven't gotten this week's report. We'll get it in the morning, but I feel confident that we're going to continue to be on the safe side. I know I feel comfortable going out. For a long time, it was just didn't, it was scary to go out anywhere, not just, anywhere. But now I feel like I can go out. I can enjoy life more. Wife and I were talking about going to the movie Thursday night. I mean, we went to, the event with Logan and the Cub Scouts, and, it's just, we're slowly getting back out and enjoying life again.
Good. That's what I want for everyone.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, we can't ever forget it's out there, because the minute we do, it's like anything else. The minute you forget that it is a danger, become more of a danger. So respect it, but understand that I think we are getting the upper hand. And who knows, a year from now, I hope we'll look back on this and go, man, remember that? We don't want to do that again. So I think we're getting there. Governor Polis has said that masks are not needed at some indoor gatherings of 10 or more if 80% of the people have been vaccinated. Now, you do have to show your card, but that's another good thing. That's another step in the right direction. It's another chance for us to not be so afraid. We had a tornado hit north of Bethune last week. I don't know if you saw the photo on our website. I did. But the Corliss property.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to.
Yeah, and I talked to him, and he actually was in that building that you saw on our website that got crushed.
Yeah. Ooh.
He had. I think that's the building. He said he had a couple buildings that got damaged, and whether it was the one on our website or another one, he was actually in one of those buildings, and he was headed back to I forget where he was going, but yeah, and he was just nonchalant when we talked. He said, "Yeah," he said, "I didn't see it." He said, "It blew me over. I skinned my knee." And
NATO's happen.
Yeah,
right. That's how.
And I'm thinking, dude,
you just went through a little tornado.
Yeah, it
it's one of those surreal things, I think.
It reminded me of what my mom used to say. She'd say, I don't know, the old story. Your mom says, well, make sure that if you're ever in a car accident, you have on clean underwear. And my response to my mom was, Mom, if I'm in a car accident, probably not going to have to worry about that because they won't be clean.
I never heard that expression.
Hank Williams told a story one time about
where's our special effects for that joke? There it is.
Hank Williams told a story one time about going down to the creek to get water because they didn't have running water in their house. And he saw an alligator. And he came running back up to the house. And his mom said, don't be afraid. That alligator's probably as scared of you as you are of it. And he said, Mom, if that's the case, we don't want to drink that water.
There you go. Another good one.
And then we have a new sheriff who was sworn in. So
it's official.
We'll have a photo of that. Travis is a good guy. I spoke to him. We had a story a couple of weeks ago when it was first announced. Travis is a good guy. He's bringing back the canine.
The canine, right?
Yeah, which is called Wick, and I believe it's named after John Wick.
Well, yeah, because you had a little article write-up on that.
Yeah. So, and that's cool. Sports. Real quick rundown on that. Burlington won its baseball opener 14-2 over Goodland yesterday. I think Burlington's going to be pretty good this year.
That was the men's varsity, or?
Yeah, that was the boys varsity baseball team.
Oh, good for them.
Goodland has already played like 14 games.
Wow.
So, because Kansas kept their regular schedule. So, and I mean, the Cougars are good. They've got, Michael Gutierrez pitched a fantastic game. They've got hitting. They've got a number of players back from the team that won the league 2 years ago in 2019 when they did play. They didn't play last year, of course. So I think the Cougars are going to be pretty good this year. We got a Burlington High track preview. Numbers are down a little bit because of COVID, but they're quality. And Mick David is pretty excited about what he's got. Trinity Perry's back. She's been to state a couple times, and he's got some good talent. And Burlington has a great track history as well. Burlington girls golf got started. Had a couple players go down to Lamar and play. We've got Colorado Preps column from Kerry Sherman. Kerry does an amazing job with that, by the way. And he does a fantastic job covering our 1A teams in the area. And then, of course, we have the Centennial Lanes Bowling. So we mentioned the photo feature earlier. A lot of great stuff in the paper. As I said, it's going to be a big paper this week.
Good.
So get it and read it. And, if you love it, call me and tell me. If you don't love it, well, lose my number? No, I'm teasing.
No, call you and tell you, right?
Yeah, no, even if you don't love it, call me and tell me because we'll make it where you do love it.
Good.
So, but that's what's happening in the news this week.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in again. That's a lot. That's a big issue and some breaking news for sure.
It is. It is a lot of big things happening, and
well, good. And next week we'll go back to our normal schedule of Wednesday, and we'll probably be able to hear about Lyman, the golf course. When are you done with all the golf courses?
Probably
in a week or two.
Yeah, I should be done probably early next week. I mean, technically, I'm supposed to have the story turned in Friday, but I'll probably take till Monday or something and do it.
Good. Maybe we can do a little sneak peek of that and kind of hear you break them all down. So
yeah, we can do that. Yeah. It's in our Explorer magazine, which I want to give that a plug. It is a free publication. You can pick it up at any of the welcome centers throughout the state. It's not just promoting Burlington, it's promoting the entire Colorado Plains. And the idea is, of course, if you're from Burlington, you look in there and you go, oh, wow, I want to run up to Brush and play that golf course. Or I want to go to Fort Morgan and see that exhibit, whatever. The whole idea is to get people to explore. So it's a free publication. Pick it up. It's not out yet. It'll be out May 31st. And it is not a part of the paper. You do have to go to the Welcome Center. We'll have it in probably some select hotels, some chambers of commerce, places like that. But if you like exploring, if you like making day trips and what have you, then yeah, pick it up.
Very nice.
There's going to be tons of cool stuff in there.
We'll keep talking about that too. So
absolutely.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, my friend.
Okay. Take care.